Okay.
She's got the knowledge.
The 2001 budget, we want to talk about plans for our presentation to the council. We all received a copy of a PowerPoint.
We did, and we were looking for feedback. What we sent you was what we were planning as a general presentation, and then as a team we brainstormed questions that might be asked, and then plan to have the ability to call up slides that would answer those questions, so that the separate ones that are in the back of the packet were those things that we, thought might come up. They're larger than the general presentation. I sent this out, and Julie sent a great suggestion, and I just haven't had a chance to act on it yet. I'd like feedback from the rest of you. She made the point that we're not talking about what this budget is accomplishing with respect to improvement and striving for excellence.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely it.
And we did highlight that in your budget, the areas, because
I think tying it to that, yeah. Right.
So, if you would agree, I would put that, one of those, a slide that addressed that this isn't just a status quo.
Right.
We did this based on zero-based budgeting and strove to save in some areas so we could expend in others that were more related to our goals.
Yeah.
And do you think that, the model that we're using comes under question a lot, but the new achievement data shows it's working.
No, rigor irrelevant. Okay.
Should we include any recap achievement data or anything to that effect to make the point that?
Yes. Well, there's nothing in here about rigor and relevance. That was one of the things I saw. That might fall into things that you're doing to improve. So
that's related under the strategic, strategic plan goals.
Right.
And so that I could, when I highlight what's in here that relates to rigor and relevance.
That was something I noticed. The strategic plan goals seemed like they were at the very end, kind of an after. I like the way you did it to us.
In here?
Yeah, where you had the goals laid out and then tying the specific budgetary priorities to those goals. I really liked that. And I think some kneecap data would be nice too, because I think that as the questions about the model that you're pursuing come up, that's a useful, obviously test scores are only one measure, but it is a measure that a lot of people seem to be looking at. Yeah. So, and it's.
But I would say keep it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of trying to make it too long, so by the time we got to the bottom line, they were all asleep.
Right.
Right. To even just have a blanket statement to say what you're seeing steadily improving standardized test scores.
I think you want to have some data to back up a general statement like that, but.
Well, maybe you have the packet of kneecap scores available to anybody who's interested.
Who wants to get to the weeds.
Because otherwise it's very hard to, unless you really take the time to explain the charts and whatnot.
Yes.
And once you walk people through the charts.
Could you do a summary of this is the increase in percentages of force, or in reading and math? Like, is there a way to
let me take a look at some of the highlights that I might be able to pull out.
Right.
And if anybody asks questions, I'd be happy to give you the
whole
entire packet of,
of
our presentation to the school committee, but we didn't want to muddy the waters.
Right.
I think in that case, less is more.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants the information, it's available. You can come get it now. I don't think you really, we're very pleased and proud of the accomplishments. And anybody who wants to come see it can.
And anyone that's who attends our meeting has seen the breakdown of all this.
Absolutely.
It's on the record. They can see it on the record.
And they can see it on the record.
There you go.
They give a plug to the record.
Thank you.
But additionally, anytime you have change, I think it's important to celebrate the successes too.
Yeah.
And because I think it does support
the model. People always question our class sizes, but our class sizes are leading to higher achievement.
Right.
And actually, a question on that, where you go through the projected class sizes. Class sizes budgeted and then larger class sizes.
That was I would only use that slide in the event that, the suggestion was that we eliminate teachers at each grade level and raise our class sizes.
Got it.
Right. And I think also the point about there should always be an asterisk with these class sizes. We never know.
Oh, absolutely.
From one,
These are based on kids
grade.
we know about
Right.
right now.
right, and so if you
And-
push it up to
Yes.
theoretical margins,
Mhm.
then you might get 3 or 4 more.
And we have been told by the military base that to expect more rather than fewer kids next year.
Another, young ones in a high school. Another question, is the Department of Student Services numbers included in the overall budget?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
But it's a large portion of the budget, and traditionally, we've explained those expenses separately.
Yep.
And, when we ask Gwen to just sort of review that, we generally get quite a few questions on special ed expenses.
But I do think that some data about your model, the class size, because that is a perennial question that comes up, and I think.
So I have it ready if it comes
Yeah.
up, that's all.
Or maybe even making an affirmative statement that we are seeing really positive results.
On the
As we
bigger.
pursue this model. What?
The bigger.
Yeah.
No, that's,
Oh, that's not the,
We don't want them to be larger.
we
That's
don't
saying
want
if we
them to
have
be larger, but in the
Right.
event that we eliminated teachers, that's, would be the, the
Impact.
next step with that.
And I think highlighting what the budget is preserving and enhancing is a good idea.
Yeah, I got no problem with this. You're going in with a 1.27% decrease, and, you know, and the test scores are going up, and you're seeing
Yes.
higher achievement in boards and so forth. It appears that our staff knows what they're doing. You- Can you accept this tax decrease?
No.
I guess my only concern with that comment that I made was, from a parent standpoint, a community standpoint, there is a perception that when budgets decline, particularly in the school world, that quality is also
Yeah.
declining.
Yeah, no,
And so
I very
we
much
just
appreciated that comment,
Make it
because
very clear that
that's
it's not the case.
what we tried to do, was
Right.
to look at any place that we could find economies so that we could fund our improvement plan,
Priorities.
you know, in an affordable way, not to go overboard, but to make some progress in achieving those goals.
And Dr. Luzon, one other question that I would anticipate being brought up is, you know, you sent facts around about in Massachusetts, the pay for service. I would expect maybe a question on that and seeing if that's where our head is around that.
It's illegal for us to do that right now.
Well, there you go, that's the
And
answer.
the reason that I sent that to you is that it came up in our discussion with our legislators as a suggestion related to mandates. That it's not a well, in a sense, it's a mandate that we don't charge for those services. And I think Kathy suggested that they, you know, they might want to consider crafting some legislation which would make it an option for a community to do that if the community was so inclined. And I wanted to forward that data to you and to them to say, this is what it looks like in another place. So that was all. I mean, and I only did, that comes to me because I'm a retired Massachusetts superintendent and I'm still on that list.
Right.
And that's where I
Thankfully.
get that information. But it does, our neighbors do have that practice, and it looks like what that data is on the surface.
And you can see many communities do opt to charge no additional fees. Some opt to charge for preschool but not kindergarten, kindergarten not sports, what have you, so.
But our legislators did ask us to ask our community. And I'm wondering whether we can just put it on the April 15th agenda, but how do you feel about it?
But put it on our end of year survey?
But end of year is going to be too late,
Yeah.
because if
Well,
you
you can
really
bring it up
want
at
this.
this budget meeting. I mean, this is what we're recommending. This is what we're proposing. And if
Right, but
anybody
in
would-
the budget meeting, you're going to have your CLAC parents, but you're not going to have a lot of other parents.
I would, you're gonna have more parents there than you're gonna have here.
Well, that's true.
And I mean, and if we do due diligence and, you know.
And if there's some coverage in the press, I'm sure people feel strongly about it, they will get in touch with
But I
one of
mean,
us
do we
or
wanna
write
bring it
to
up?
the
Because right now, it doesn't seem to be, it's
don't
really
need
not
it.
a